How do we calculate the profit earned? And you also know how do we just find out which are the objects which have been selected, isn't it? In the lab program we have that also, the objects which have been selected to get the maximum profit. But here if you will look into this problem, immediately will not come to know. So what is the way in which how do we find out which are the items selected? We will just compare the last cell with the last but one cell. If there is change in the value, then we say that this object is selected, isn't it? That is what we do. And then once we say that object 4 is selected, we just take its weight and subtract it from the main capacity. 5 minus 2, 3, right? We have the code here for that to find how the objects are selected. Those who were absent for the lab will not be able to follow it now. So whoever were there, they can. If you will remember, we had discussed the same thing in the last class. So this is what? The lines of code which will tell you what are the objects which have been selected to get the maximum profit, isn't it? We compare the last cell with the last but one cell. If they are not equal, then it means that particular object I is selected, and that's weight we will just subtract from the total weight of the knapsack, right? And again I will be decremented, and here j, as we know, that is also decremented. So 5 minus 2, 3. So we will have 4 and 3. I will compare it with 3 and 3, isn't it? 4, I minus 1 becomes 3. So 3, 3 will compare, and if it is not equal, then we will just say that that particular object is selected. But in this case, let's see what happens. So in this, what happens? In this case, we have to compare 4, 3, isn't it? Sorry, 4. Earlier it was 5, then okay, I object 3, sorry, 3 with 3 comma 3 with 2 comma 3. See, these two cells will compare. As they are same, what I should do?
We won't select, ma'am.
Yes, we will not select it because the values are same. Only if they are not equal, it means that particular object will be selected 3. It's not selected in this case. 3 is not selected. Then again we move on like that. So I becomes 2 and j is still 3, isn't it? So we'll compare this with this value, isn't it? I minus 1 and j. So these two are different. Then it's the difference in the value says that this particular object is selected, object 2. Then we have selected with object 2. Then we have to decrease the weight. So 3 minus 1 becomes 2. Then we move on like that. So here we will compare these two values. As they are different, object 1 is also selected. So according to this problem, the objects which are selected are 1, 2 and 4. We can check here. 1, 2 and 4. See, add the weight 12 plus 20, 22 plus 15, 37. And what about weight? 2, 1, 2, which is equal to the knapsack capacity. So what are the objects which we have selected? We have selected object 1, 2 and 4 whose weight is equal to 5, and the knapsack capacity J is equal to, sorry, knapsack capacity is equal to 5. This is knapsack capacity, which is J, and we have the profit which is earned of the objects which have been selected. So 12, 20 plus 15, that is 37. Matching. So you need not have to by heart the program once you know the logic, isn't it? Only if you will try to, if you don't know the logic, then only you try to by heart. There is nothing to by heart here. You all know the program takes weight, profit, and we will get the output in this matrix V of ij. We take the number of objects, we take capacity, we have taken the weights, we have just asked the user to enter the profit as well. Then this is the main logic which is following. You all know that very well. If j is less than wi, then previous value will copy. Otherwise, we'll calculate. So this here we again have a max function. We have expanded that here. But what is the profit? Which cell will display the profit for us? It is the last cell, which is NC. And this is the max function which returns the maximum value. Okay. Any doubts with this?
No, ma'am.
Somebody to respond, not only Rachita or Rashmi.
No, ma'am.
Yes. So sixth A program was nothing but 01 knapsack with dynamic programming, and we have completed that. Today we'll discuss Bellman-Ford algorithm. Bellman-Ford algorithm. So what is this Bellman-Ford algorithm? It is, do you remember studying or did we discuss any algorithm, single source shortest path algorithm? Did we discuss?
Yes, ma'am.
Which one?
Dijkstra's.
Yes. We discussed Dijkstra's, which is the algorithm to find single source shortest path. So this algorithm, what happens with Dijkstra's is, it will not give you the correct result when some of the edges of this directed graph will have negative length. If at all, if there is any negative length, in that case, Dijkstra's algorithm will not give you correct results, right? Hence, we have this Bellman-Ford algorithm, which will help us to find the shortest path from single source to all other vertices, and also it will work well if negative edges are also present, whereas that is a drawback in case of Dijkstra's algorithm. Fine. So Dijkstra's algorithm, which will not give the correct result when some of the edges in the directed graph will have negative length, will be to overcome that disadvantage which is there in the Dijkstra's algorithm, we have Bellman-Ford. Here, this also finds the shortest path from source to all other vertices, but it will also work on negative edges. Okay, it's a bit lengthy because you will have to find from each node, you will have to find the minimum distance to all other nodes. Okay, okay, let's just write down the graph. So our goal here, so what is the topic we are discussing today? Bellman-Ford. So we have Bellman-Ford algorithm. Okay. So what is this an example for? This is again an example for single source shortest path, isn't it? This is also an example for single source shortest path. So what's the difference between Dijkstra's and this? Dijkstra's algorithm will not work with negative edges, right? So this serves as a disadvantage for Dijkstra's. Hence we have this Bellman-Ford algorithm. So here we'll have the distance to be the length of shortest path from source to vertex. shortest path from source vertex U to V. Okay. What we do is, we will keep one edge in between and we keep checking, and finally we will calculate the shortest path. So we will have to compute the distance with n minus 1 edges for a particular vertex U. Yes, ma'am. Who was that in between? So mute yourself. Don't disturb the class. Mute yourself. Okay. We will just try to find the shortest path from V to U with at most k edges. We'll keep one edge in between and we will check which is the shortest path. Okay. And we also have to take care that it will not have more than k minus 1 edges. Okay. Every time we keep one edge in between and we will check. If I will tell you like this, you will not understand that. I know very well. We have to solve one problem and then I have to come back to this, then you will understand well. Right? Yes. Okay. So we will have this recurrence relation to calculate the distance. And so the recurrence relation will go like this. Sorry. So you will have the recurrence relation to calculate the distance. This k will represent the number of edges we are keeping in between. Then minimum distance by considering k minus 1 edges, and again minimum distance with k minus 1 of I plus cost of I U. Too lengthy but not tough. So where k will be, so distance of this will be used to compute the distance k from distance k minus 1, where k equal to 2, 3 up to n minus 1 edges, whatever we have. Okay. Let me start with the problem, then it will be more clear for you. Can we start with the problem now? Isn't it? Most of the problems will be like this only. Once I keep on telling the theory, you will be not in a position to understand anything. Once we solve the problem and come back, and if I'll explain, it will be more clear for you. Right? Let's start with the problem now then.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. We'll write down the graph for which we have to find the shortest path. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, right? So we have this 1 to 3 an edge. So we have a directed graph. 5, the weight is 5, 5, 6. And as I said, Dijkstra's will not work for negative edges. So Bellman-Ford works for negative edges as well. So we have 3 to 5, weight 1, and then we have this negative edge again. 4 to 6 again we have negative edge. Here again we have 3, and this is one more. 5 to 7, it is 3. Now our aim is to find the shortest path between from source to all other vertices. It is single source shortest path. It is not all pair. It's a single source shortest path. Okay, so totally how many vertices we have in the graph? We have 7 vertices. Clear? So totally there are 7 vertices. Let's write down the distance. So it's a directed graph. So let me write down the arrow there. Okay. So we have 7 vertices and we will just calculate the distance from 1, as source is 1, from 1 to all other vertices, what is the distance and whether it is reachable or not, that we will note down. So distance from 1 to 2, what is the distance? It is 6. And then we have distance from 1 to 3, it is 5. We have from 1 to sorry, 1 to 4 we have 5, isn't it? Yes, all these nodes are directly reachable, so we can say that these are the distance. But what about others? Are they reachable directly? You all are familiar with these things now. So distance from 1 to 5, it is infinity, right? Again, distance from 1 to 3 over 5, 6. So to 6 it is infinity, and also to 7 it is infinity. Is it clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So it's nothing but we have just it's just we have just noted down the distance from 1 to all other vertices, as 1 is the source. We have to find shortest path from 1 to all other vertices. So we have just noted down the distance, and this is infinity as there are no edges from 1 to these nodes, and there is an edge between these, and hence I have just noted down the weight here. Okay, now so this is by placing one edge. We call this as number of edges. So we have one edge between 1 to 2 with the cost of 6. One edge between 1 to 3. That's right. This is only edge. And 1 to 4, single edge, 5 is the cost. Now we move on placing two edges in between, and we will try to check can we have any alternate distance which we can find. Fine. Okay, let's see. Okay, I have left this. I'll just write down this. Okay, -2. There is an edge here also from 2 to 3. Okay, fine. Yes, now we will see. Let me start by keeping two edges, and I will try to reach the second node. I'll keep two edges and try to reach the second node. Okay, see here k varies from 2 to n minus 1. So k I am keeping it as 2, which means that I am placing two edges and I am trying to find out whether I can have shortest path when I keep two edges when compared to keeping one edge. So one edge we know we have a cost of 6. I am trying whether by placing two edges I can find smaller distance. So what is the formula I have? Minimum. Okay, so this is a formula. So k minus 1. What is k here? K is 2, isn't it? So k is 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1. So this is 1 to 2. The distance 1 to 2, we have it here. We can take this value. So that is the direct with one edge. Whichever is the minimum, I should select now. Now I will check with two edges. So what's the formula now? Minimum I, that is I varies from, with all distance it varies. Okay, so we will have sorry, we will have this distance of k minus 1, that is 1 to I, that is 2, plus cost of I comma 2. Okay, we'll see this now. Minimum. What is the distance from 1 to 2? The distance is 6. So we have 6 and I varies from, in this case, I varies, 1 second, I'll just tell you how long the I varies. Vertices, number of vertices is nothing but I. Okay, so we will check from 1 to 1, it is 0, minimum distance 0, plus cost from 1 to 2. I is varying from 1 to 7, all 7 vertices. We have 7 vertices, so we'll vary I from 1 to 7. Okay, so when we start, this becomes 1 to 1. Distance from 1 to 1 is 0. There is no loop here, self loop here, and hence it is 0, plus cost of I comma 2, that is 1 comma 2. What is 1 comma 2? 6. Okay, now what about I? I becomes 2 now. Are you getting this? I becomes 2 now. So we will have I from, 1 second, 1 to 2, 6, plus 2 to 2, 0. Then we have, okay, 1 second, one more thing I would like to add it here. As our u is 2, we will not take this 2. 2 we will leave and we'll vary I by leaving 2. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those values we'll just take. Is it clear? Is it confusing? Are you able to follow? Just
Yes, ma'am.
let me repeat it. What we are trying to do here is, we are trying to place 2 edges between 1 and 2, and we are just checking whether placing 2 edges can give you minimum distance compared with 1 edge. So for that, this is a formula we have. So minimum distance from k minus 1 to u is this. I will be varied from 1 to 7, leaving the one which you have selected as the target to which you have to find the shortest path. The 2 is the 1. So I, we will choose it as 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, as I is the u here, that is the destination here. So we have selected 1 to 1, which is 0, plus cost of 1 to 2 is 6, as you know. Now 1 to 3, check here, 1 to 3. 1 to 3, what is the cost? 5. And this cost from 3 to 2, isn't it? I is 3 here. 3 to 2. Check here in the graph, 3 to 2, what is the cost?
Minus 2.
Minus 2. So this is one value. Then next I becomes 4. So 4 to 1. So 1 to 4. Yes, we have 5 plus cost from I is 4 to 2. Yes. Can we, we will check whether we have a direct path here. Only if we have direct path, we can write it down. So if we will check 4 to 2, we don't have a direct path. We have to move through one more vertex. So we will keep it as not reachable and let it be infinity. Okay. Now 1 to 5, not reachable only. It is infinity. 1 to 5 is infinity. Okay. Plus 5 to 2, no, that is also infinity. Then 1 to 6, infinity, plus 6 to 2 is also infinity, comma. Again 1 to 7 infinity, as you know, plus cost from 7 to 2, no, we cannot find right now. So this is some. Did you know how we varied I? I in this case is varied with the values 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11, leaving 2. Because 2 is the target. Okay. So I we have varied and we have just noted down the cost. Among this, we select the minimum. Check here which is the minimum value among this. 6, 6, 3, infinity, 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 infinity. Which one should I select now?
3, ma'am.
3.
3.
3.
Yes. Did we get the shortest path when we placed 2 edges to 2? Instead of having one edge here, see, with one edge, the cost was 6. By placing 2 edges, we got the cost as 5 minus 2, which is 3. Are we moving correctly? Yes, this way we will just place edges. Now we will try placing 2 edges between 1 and 3. Likewise, we have to do for the whole table. That's the procedure. It's a lengthy problem, right? Lengthy
Yes,
problem?
ma'am.
Yes, but that's
Yes,
how it works. Now what we have to do is we have to just place 2 to 3 and find out, which means that with the 2 edges to reach 3, what is the minimum cost? Same procedure we will follow. Likewise for everything. With the 2 edges to reach 4, with 2 edges to reach 5. Likewise, if we move on, finally we will end up getting the table which shows that it is in the form of a table, and in the next class I'll show you the shortcut how to do it. Okay, because with this as an exercise I want you all to try for this at least one more. Can you do it? 2 to 3 in the same way?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, try it out and tell me the value, and later I'll show you the shortcut how to fill the table. So we will have to construct a table like this. We will have a table, distance k, that is 1 to 7 edges, and then we have edges. So you know that if we have 7 vertices, how many edges we can have? With 7 edges, with 7 vertices, how many maximum edges we can have? If we have n vertices,
n minus 1
yes,
edges.
n minus 1 edges. That is what is k. I am just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So the k is n minus 1 edges. This is n vertices. So whatever we have just from the 1 with single edge, this is what the table was. Next, we calculated this. Now we are doing this. Likewise, we have to fill the whole table. Got it? Tell you the shortcut in the next class. Just do for 2 to 3 and tell me the answer. Then we can wind up the class. Which hour you have? Class start?
Maths.
Yeah. Has anybody done it? All are doing it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So how does the problem goes? We'll place 1 edge, then 2 edges, then 3 edges, 4 edges, 5 edges, finally 6 edges, and try to find the shortest path. Any doubts with that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. You're doing it?
Yes, ma'am.
In the chat box, whoever is doing the problem, just you tell me what is the shortest path between 1 to 3 with 2 edges.
3, ma'am.
Yes. It is 3. Yes. Okay. Likewise, you can continue. Okay, it's the same procedure what will be followed, but the thing is this takes a lot of time. Instead of that, you can have a shortcut so that you can find the values soon. I'll tell you that. Fine. Okay, we'll wind up now. We'll meet in the next class.